Hello and welcome to another episode of Swim Sets by the Pool. This is the podcast where you get free swim workouts and tips on how to swim better. My name is Nathan Cohen. I'm a professional triathlete and ex-community college swimmer, hashtag Go Pirates. And with me is, I don't know, some NCAA D1 championship winning swimmer, Olympic trials guy. I don't know. Greg, tell us, what are your accolades?
Go Bears, by the way, because I gotta say my college. Yeah, I swam at UC Berkeley. We won some national titles. I didn't win an individual national title. Let's just throw that out there. I wasn't a pro swimmer. But it's funny in triathlon, people are like, oh, what are some tips? I know you were like a great professional swimmer and all this. And I'm like, hey, I appreciate that, but I really wasn't at that level. But I did swim with Olympic gold medalist Nathan Adrian.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've been coaching swimming for since I was a teenager as well. So
Yeah.
we together we've been around the block and have a good knowledge in our brains from two different backgrounds, which I think is important because everyone has their biases when it comes to swim, but you kind of gotta work on eliminating those and seeing everything from everyone's perspective, which I think we do a good job of.
Yeah, for sure. And the reason why I brought up the Ventura Pirates is because today's set is from Ventura, from the Ventura County Masters, or I think it's the Buenaventura Masters. Anyways, it's the Masters Club out at the Ventura pool that I swim at. They left their setup on the whiteboard the other day, so I took a photo of it. And it's summer in Ventura, so we're swimming long course. This is a long course meter set. And that is the quick tip of the day is if you can, try and find a 50-meter pool to swim in. If you're in Europe, there's probably a ton of them, other parts of the world. And if you're in the US, I know a lot of pools are short course yards, but try and find a 50-meter pool somewhere. Summertime, usually they're probably open more. A lot of club teams are swimming long course, but Greg has said multiple times on the podcast they swam 50 meters pretty much every day in college, and it just makes you stronger. I've been swimming 50 meters lately, and I love it because there's less flip turns, but you definitely feel it when you get halfway.
Oh, 100%. It's like I've had this happen to me so many times in my life. I'm like, yeah, I'm in good swim shape. And then you swim long course for the first time in your while. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. And it always humbles you. And, you know, it'll humble you hard. Like, even if you're in great shape, it will humble you pretty hard the first time. But it might just take a couple. And then you'll be like, okay, I'm not in bad shape. I'm in good shape. I just needed a little something. And yeah, it is more open water stroke. Like, I tend to go to a
hmm
similar stroke I would do in the open water. Like in the middle of a race where maybe you drop the legs a bit, like more of a two hybrid four beat type of kick, which is what I usually do. But in short course, you end up like kind of using the legs a bit more. And
hmm
yeah, I think some in long course would help people a lot too because yeah, just keeping your body on the surface and for not, I've been working on it with a lot of triathletes. Everyone just kicks to keep their legs up. And then just
Mm,
like I think the long course might help you like, oh, find some good body position because you can't just blast your legs every 50. Like you'll just get gassed.
yeah.
So yeah, that's something to work on for everyone else out there.
Yeah, for sure. I was doing a 50. I was trying to do a 50 long course, no breath, because on the last pod, Greg was like, oh, yeah, I could tell if I was in good shape if I could do a 50 long
No,
course,
warmed
no
up,
breath.
warmed up, warmed
He
up.
could tell if he was warmed up if he could do a 50 long course, no breath. And I got halfway. Well, I was trying to do it one breath, took a breath a little past halfway, and I did not make it to the wall before I took another breath. I was totally gassed. I'm like, how did he do this? This is crazy. I was not warmed
More
up, I guess.
No, you weren't warmed up, dude. Come on. Yeah, these days I think I would it would be tough too.
Yeah.
And in college we were primed because we do like snorkel caps, where you wear a snorkel with a tiny little hole in it, and like you
Yeah.
just the oxygen deprivation was real. That's why my brain cell. I don't have any brain cells left. I'm just kidding.
That's
But
crazy.
yeah, so yeah, it seems like a good set. Whoever wrote this has insanely good handwriting, and
Yeah.
I'm impressed. But classic masters 5 minutes on your own, and then 650s, yeah, on the minute or 110, which are choice, I guess. And
Yeah, for sure. For masters, so we'll kind of go through the set, but they usually give a few options because there's like different lanes and different groups and stuff. Um, and if you're listening to this, you can kind of just like choose the interval that kind of fits the pace you're at, or you can do like a just a certain amount of rest on each. thing if you're, especially that's really good for beginner swimmers when like intervals are kind of hard to stick to and stuff. But yeah, 650s. I mean, it's masters, so usually they just kind of float around. Some people do drill, but I mean, doing some backstroke and stuff, I think would be good, and different strokes in those 50s as well, if you can.
Yeah, I'm coaching masters starting in like a week and a half, and I don't think they have a whiteboard. I'm like, maybe I should buy a whiteboard. I feel like it's just classic masters. Like, if you don't have a
Classic.
whiteboard, is it even really a master's program?
Nah.
And especially just for explaining things, like it's just to have that visual aid. I mean, maybe I would like print out some workouts, but I think, yeah, and just knowing what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, they do a warm-up set, kick set, drill set, and main, and then pull. I mean, that's like so standard.
Yeah.
Uh, the kick set is 1250s on the minute, or 10 on 110, or 8 on 120. So, like Nate said, you kind of pick one based on your level.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea behind doing that in masters is just keeping everyone moving through the workout at the same like pace, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no real direction with it. Like it would be cool to be like, hey, we're gonna do three on your back, three underwater dolphin, three flutter with a board. I think mixing up the kicks is super important. Like
Mm-hmm.
kicking with the board all the time, really, it can get your head like way out of position, like body
Yeah.
position. And I was having someone kick on their side a bit, and even dolphin on your side, and if you're having trouble feeling the down kick or something, if you push off underwater on your side doing dolphin kick, if you don't kick evenly on both sides, you'll go crooked. So it's like a
Yeah.
really easy way to know if you're doing it correctly, and you can like just go straight, and you'll figure out how to like keep water evenly on the both sides of your feet. So definitely mix up kick if you're gonna do kick, and don't just do all your kicking with a board and freestyle kick.
Yeah, for sure. I just wrote all those things down that Greg just said. So if you look at the workout on the show notes, that'll be on there, on your back, on your side with the board. And
Yeah,
if
maybe
you're,
like three of each, right? Like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
just mix it up.
And if you're with the board, like try and still keep good body position. Don't just like try and lay on top of the board. You know what I'm saying? Like just have it nice and long. You still want to be long even when you're kicking with the board.
Yeah, I do this thing called body position kick with my athletes, and I have them grab the bottom of the board,
Mm-hmm.
and their face in the water, and you can like
Yeah.
use the board as like leverage to like push your head and chest, and the goal is to like find hip height,
Mm-hmm.
and you can kind of use the board as like an anchor out front rather than not. So that could be a good one too, where you're literally holding the bottom of the board, your face is in the water. The goal is to kind of have your head and your hips and your heels all at the surface, and then you can kind of like play with your head and chest position, so we can think about our hip position, and then as you do that, then go into swim and try to hold that height. So there's a lot of different interesting things you can do with it.
Yeah, for sure. That sounds good. And then yeah, 6 by 100 drill with fins. Some drills I like to do with fins, and some I just don't. Like some drills I like to just float and not kick hardly at all. So some of the drills I like to do with fins could be like a one arm drill. If you're just swimming with one arm, gives you a little bit keeps you a little higher because you don't have that anchor out in front like we talk about. And when it comes to sculling, I like to scull without fins because I feel like if you have the fins, you kind of kick a little bit more and you don't feel the water with your hands, which is like the whole point of sculling. So yeah, those are two drills I would recommend. But yeah, what about you, Greg? What are some of your drills you would like to do with fins?
Yeah, I think it just really depends on the level of the athlete. Like
Mm,
drills with fins and snorkel is like basic, right? And then
yeah.
maybe okay, if you're doing underwater recovery for say, right, which is
Mm-hmm.
a drill I use with a lot of people, I think, and to work on a plethora of things. And maybe you're trying to do it to work on kind of your catch because it kind of puts your hand in a good position. Now, if you have to breathe with it and kick and you're trying to focus on it, it's like, okay, let's put on a snorkel so we can forget about breathing for a second. Let's put on fins so we can kind of forget about the legs for a second. So I
Mm-hmm.
think isolating things, giving some gear to isolate things in the right way is important. But
Mm-hmm.
it's like I don't do underwater recovery with fins or a snorkel because
Yeah.
I don't really need to. And I can maybe descend it because I want to, just regular underwater recovery doesn't really give me that much. I'm going to say, oh, I'm going to do four and kind of go faster on it and, add that kind of performance goal of the drill. So depending on who you are, if you feel like you're sinking to the bottom of the pool doing a drill,
Mm-hmm.
um, put on some fins. and then try to graduate to them without them. But yeah, I mean, like you said, Skull. You can even throw in a buoy. Like for Skull, you could even throw in a buoy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't love the buoy to rely on it for body position, but if you're really trying to feel the catch out front, we don't want you like dragging through the water as much
Hmm.
too. So, think about a plan of attack and kind of what would make sense for what you're trying to work on. But yeah, underwater recovery, Skull, one arm, I think is good. I think one arm breathing to the opposite side is really good because it forces you to breathe and then get your head back down before you set that catch. And I think triathletes have a really slow breath, and it can kind of help you like getting that quick breath. So I like those a lot. And if you're gonna ride six by, I mean, maybe the coach had drills that you
Yeah, I
said,
think
but like
they,
you said,
yeah, probably
they
had
probably
drills.
did,
Yeah.
right? Okay, but it's Masters, so everyone half them, and everyone probably just say I'm freestyle.
Yeah, yeah. Or I mean, honestly, yeah, or they like swam drill like halfway and then swam the rest or something like that, which isn't a bad thing, but yeah.
That's probably what you should do. Like it should
Yeah.
probably be 50 or like 25 drill, 25 swim,
And a
25
50
drill,
meter
25
pool,
swim.
that hits different. It's so nice without the wall there, just going straight from your drill into your swimming. It's nice.
Well, I swam with a club team. Like this was a few months back, and one of the things we did is like, all right, yeah, we're gonna do like 5 200s backstroke, like 100 right arm, 100 left arm, and I was like, bro, what? Like
Dang.
I was dying, and like
Dang.
honestly, I think that's overkill. Like it was old school, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I mean, if you're an experienced swimmer, like you can get away with it, but if you're a new or something, like 101 arm drill, like it seems excessive. So yeah, mixing the drill with the swim, I think is the right way to approach it.
Yeah, man. Dude, speaking of these club teams, nothing humbles you more than when you're going hard in your swim set and a 12-year-old girl just swims right past you. You're just like, dang. Man.
Yep.
Dude, anyways,
Um,
I actually just thought of this. Is swimming like a transcendence journey where like when you're just starting out, you shouldn't use any gear, and then in the middle of your journey, you use a little bit of gear, and then when you get to Greg's level, there's just no gear again. It's like a full circle journey.
oh, then when you get older, you use the gear to keep the speed up again, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It just goes in circles.
Ebbs
No,
and
I think
flows.
I think there's something to be said about that. You don't you don't use that much gear growing up. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you do a little bit, maybe like some fins, but like, paddles and poling, I never really did that until I was like a late teenager.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, yeah, it's not shortcuts, but if you're not doing it in like a really targeted, thoughtful way, like, oh, I just do it because I started feeling slow. It's like, well, that's not how you improve like your swimming skills or whatnot, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Okay, well then main set pretty simple. This is a classic master set. It's just 3 times 4 100 free. The last one is fast so that everyone can race, and then it's 450s as 25 fast stroke, 25 free, and then you get that bonus masters minute, which I'm just gonna say right now we could probably just toss that out unless you really need it. Like if you really need that minute, that's okay, but I think a lot of
Yeah, I
people
mean,
maybe
the
don't.
4 100s to start, it's like only the last one's fast. So you can like, you could take that first one easier.
Yeah.
I'm such a big fan of like moving immediately after you do something fast. Like,
Yeah.
so I've seen even like pro triathletes or something like finish it like over the side of the pool, like, I'm like, just swim backstroke, like
Yeah.
recovering while moving on your back, even if you're literally at your max and like somehow going horizontal and like keeping your breath under control and like even moving slightly through the water. I think that's really big, and that's how the best in the world do it. It's like because then you get into some open water scenario, you'll never ever go like vertical. Like
Yeah.
no matter how gassed you are in what situation, you can stay horizontal and you can stay moving forward, and those little things make a difference.
Yeah, for sure. Would you change that main set at all, or do you think it's fine? 3 easy, one fast.
Yeah, I would say like in like the first 3 100 frees, like maybe give them like a stroke count goal
Mm,
or a
mm-hmm,
breath control goal. Like, hey, first one, I want you to take one less stroke per 25. Or maybe we'll do
mm-hmm,
it on the number two. And the third one, I want you to breathe every five for the
mm-hmm.
middle 50. I don't know, just get people thinking as they're doing it, right? I think that's always important. And I like doing stroke count work for people. It gets them thinking about think, oh, I always take 16 strokes. And like, wow, I did 16, 15, 14, 13. And maybe they just
Mm-hmm.
figured out a little something, how to do something a little bit better. And with that type of repetition over time, maybe they can find some efficiency in their stroke that, they didn't know they had, or a coach couldn't really tell them what to do. And that's the beauty of swimming. The swimmer has to figure it out themselves. Like the coach provides tools and the swimmer has to figure it out. And I think the stroke count can be a good tool for that.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's something I was doing a set, I think maybe 1 or 2 weeks ago, where I was trying to focus on just being more efficient. And then while I was like fatiguing throughout the set, and by the end, I was actually able to get like 1 or 2 strokes less per 50, which was really nice. And I was like going the same speed as I was going at the start of the
Hmm.
set. So,
One of my favorite things, because I would take it so seriously growing up. It'd be like, all right, 650s descends total stroke count and time. I think I maybe talked about this on an episode where it's like,
yeah.
oh, you went 35 and you took 25 strokes, and that's 60. And you have to descend either your stroke count or your time or both. And, I was always just like ripping off the walls, like trying to take 5 strokes, but just sprinting and like try to get that
Mm-hmm.
time. And you just figure stuff out. You just
Yeah.
learn how to be more efficient, how to move through the water. And yes, kicking taking as few strokes as possible is not probably the way to swim. But if you do one extreme or even the other one where you're like, I want you to take a ton of strokes, then you can find what works for you in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, that's the swimmer's responsibility to find what works for them.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that's pretty solid set. I mean, if you really want to, I think there's no problem just doing 450s IM order. Um,
Yeah, that'd be great.
if you
Yeah,
want
for
to.
sure.
I know 50 long course meters butterfly is hard. It's hard for me.
But
Um,
it's only 25 fast stroke and then 25 free.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but yeah, I mean, you could extend it. No, that's a good point.
Yeah, for sure. It's up to you like what your ability level is at. If you're really new to swimming stroke, 25 stroke, 25 free is really good. But if you're more experienced, like yeah, 50 of each stroke would be sweet.
And then a classic distance grab at the end, two
Distance
300s
grab,
pull.
yeah. Yeah, I mean maybe we could change that to like 3 200s, a little bit shorter if you have time to do it. I feel like the
Yeah.
300s is cuz it's masters, you're kind of trying to get the yards in and stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, and maybe be like, oh, like steady, a little bit stronger, a little bit stronger. Or say, hey, make number two slightly better than number one. Just a little
Mhm.
something. And maybe the coach had something on there. That's a
Yeah.
good set to throw in some breath, alternate,
Yeah.
3 5 7 by 100.
Mhm.
Um, some stroke count stuff, like we said. The stroke count stuff with pole, it can be good too because you can't quite rely on the legs. I mean, you probably will just end up kicking a little bit, but like
Yeah.
it kind of forces your pole to be more efficient too, which is, it's like another variable. Like maybe you could learn something a little bit different in that regard. So I
Mhm.
always think doing the pole stuff, giving people options and different ways to hold the paddle too, I think are great
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, I just did a set where I was holding the paddle like up against my wrist.
Upside down paddle, yeah.
Yeah, upside down and dude, that like I just felt it like in my lats and stuff and like my forearm position in the water. I was like, man, this is pretty solid. And I was even
I
trying to
just
like let go of it and just keep
mm,
it on my forearm through the tension of the water and then grab it at the last second as I took it out of the water. But yeah.
I just wrote this set for someone where it was with one arm, you have an upside down paddle, and the other arm is nothing, just regular hand. And then you switch, and then the last 50 is regular. And it's like this like kind of sensory thing. There's this really great coach. His name's Andrew Schaaf, and I've been learning a lot from him. He like coaches at UVA, like he coached national titles, but he's written books about swimming, but he always talks about like sensory awareness and like hand stuff and like changing
Mm-hmm.
hand postures or like one hand does this, one hand does the other, and then you switch them, and maybe that gives the swimmer a little bit something to improve upon. But it's weird like doing that, but it might help someone out on their imbalances in their stroke.
Yeah, for sure. Well, sweet. I hope you guys enjoyed this set. Maybe Greg's gonna use this when he starts coaching his masters and get a whiteboard. But
Yeah.
yeah, Greg, you want to close us out with some words of wisdom?
Yeah, I kind of forgot what I was gonna say. Like I didn't really have a hot take, but I guess I'll just say if you're trying to improve in swimming, you need to have a you need to have one aspect of your stroke that you're focused on at the time,
Mm,
right? So like if you're like, "Oh, I'm just trying to like get better." It's like it's not specific enough.
Hmm.
Work on your head position for 6 weeks or whatever it might be. So get specific with it. And if you don't have a coach that can help you get specific, find one or find someone that can help you because just saying, "Oh, I'm trying to get better at swimming," it's just not specific enough and you won't improve like you want to. So
Nice.
have a plan and attack.
That's awesome. I actually hear if you send Greg some money and a video of you swimming, he'll give you some tips. So you can
Yeah.
maybe message him on Instagram. But yeah, if you guys want to support the show, we have a Patreon. The link is in the description. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. And just message us on Instagram if you have any sets you want us to go over. If you see like I just want a crazy, wacky set that someone finds on the pool deck that is just totally unhinged so we could talk about it. Or if you're a pro triathlete listening to this, I know there's a couple, just like rat out one of your pro friends. Like when you see them doing a set, just take a photo of it.
Yeah.
When they're not looking, just sneak a photo and be like, "Oh my gosh, this person's set."
Classic.
We would love that. Anyways, take care, you guys. Subscribe to our channel and yeah, get better at swimming. Peace.
See ya.